All right, so what do we got today? Today we got a video for you guys. Trump came out and said that he was in favor of the states deciding their abortion rights. Um, Before I speak too much on the topic, I will say this very briefly. I think this was a very smart um, move for his campaign. I think this was pretty good for him to do. As you know, um, Trump was one of the crucial. I wouldn't even say members. Of course, it was at the courts, at the Supreme Court level. But one of the he probably had a lot of influence in pushing them turning around Roe versus Wade. That being said, earlier today, today's April 9th, he came out and said that he was in favor of states dictating the rights on abortion. So we're gonna go ahead and play this video for you guys. I do apologize about the quality of the video. I couldn't find a
And
better quality
pro-life
video, so here we
Americans,
go.
I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious
Yeah,
baby.
we'll make this bigger for you guys. Again, I do apologize about the quality, but
What could be more beautiful or
that's
better
all
than that?
we can do at the
Today,
moment.
I'm pleased that the Alabama legislature has acted very quickly and passed legislation that preserves the availability of IVF in Alabama. They really did a great and fast job. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, father, their beautiful babies, and that's what we are. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life.
So I think this was the first, just like the first section of this video. Again, he was coming out, letting people know that he personally, again, supports pro-life. He's okay with pushing programs again, like and treatments like IVF to ensure that more people do, have the availability and the possibility, I should say, to have children. Again, we get into the next part here where he starts talking a little bit more about the states' rights for the abortion situation.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart, or in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people. I want to thank the 6 justices, Chief Justice John Roberts.
So here again, I guess this is kind of where I stand with the situation. I would say that again, I'm a male. I don't, like I said, I don't think that I should have a say in abortion rights for women. That being said, I am still human. Male sperm is needed to make a baby. So in a way, I do believe that to an extent, men have, I guess, they can have an opinion on the matter, but they really shouldn't have a say. But that being said, again, male sperm is required to have a baby, and kind of where I stand on the situation. I don't believe that we should have abortions past a certain amount of time. I don't know the amount of time. I personally would not would not let my spouse or my significant other have an abortion. Well, again, if they decided to, I guess that would kind of be the end of our relationship or whatnot. Um, but then again, I'm married to somebody that we agree on our beliefs. Neither one of us will believe that we abortions are right or whatnot. In case of a medical situation, and she had to have it, otherwise she was gonna die. There are instances where I believe that abortion should be allowed, medical is one of them. I would say rape is another situation where I don't believe a woman should have to keep a child. A lot of people have a different opinion on that. For example, one woman might say, um, God put me through this to go through this, and I will still have the child, and I will raise it as mine, and I will love it. Another one may say, I do not want to relive the memory for the rest of my life. So they're both sides of the spectrum. Like I said, I do believe there abortion should be allowed because there is not just cutting them cold turkey is just something that I don't believe is actually possible. And again, there are situations when it should be allowed. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I'm like I said, I do have a little bit of support towards both directions. I personally wouldn't have one, but I understand the situation where it could be necessary. Now, we have another video where Kamala Harris. I mean, we just heard what he said, right? It's he. Some states will allow it, some states will not. I have another video for you guys where Kamala Harris is blatantly lying on what Donald Trump said. I guess we could finish this
Roberts,
video out.
Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Neil Gorsuch, incredible people, for having the courage to allow this long-term, hard-fought battle to finally end. This 50-year battle over Roe v. Wade took it out of the federal hands and brought it into the hearts, minds, and vote of the people in each state. It was really something. Now it's up to the states to do the right thing. Like Ronald Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. You must follow your heart of this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is...
I mean, he just came out and also said it himself, right? There are situations where we just have to understand an abortion. Um, and this is where a lot of us, I believe, stand. And we obviously have very extremely religious people on the conservative side and very radical left people on both sides of the aisle that are really fighting this out. But again, it's the states now that get to vote on things like this, and I believe that's right. If a certain state is a Republican, they've been Republican for a very long time. You can kind of see where they're gonna vote. Um, I myself, I'm in Texas. I believe Texas will possibly start going back a little bit on, not right away, because obviously Greg Abbott is love Greg Abbott by the way, but he's very conservative. But yes, I do agree with pretty much a lot of the stuff he says. We align on a lot of ideals here and there. Um, but with a lot of the people moving into Texas, I believe that shortly there will be, and it'll be a couple years from now, probably 10, 15 down the line, where um, I believe early term abortions will be available. But here, let's go over to Kamala Harris video where she kind of just again, we just saw what Donald Trump said. Let's go back to see how she blatantly lies on the situation. Here we go.
I just want to comment on the former president yet again declaring how proud he is of his responsibility for overturning Roe v. Wade. One has to ask, proudly responsible that 1 in 3 women of reproductive age now live in a state with an abortion ban? Proudly responsible that doctors and nurses can now be jailed in some states for life for providing care? Proudly responsible that states have passed bans with no exception even for rape or incest? And let's all be very clear, if he were to be put back in a position where he could sign off on a law, he would sign off on a national abortion ban. Joe Biden has been clear. If Congress passes a law reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade, Joe Biden will sign it into law. I just want to comment.
I mean, first of all, where has she been the last 3 years? I don't even think I've seen a video of Kamala Harris up until now. Um, that's my first. That's my first comment. That being said, um, I mean, we just saw the video of Donald Trump and saying it was up to the states. And again, I believe that that's the right course of action. I believe that's really what it should be. I don't think that a federal law should be reinstated, allowing or not allowing abortions or not. Um, that's where I stand. Here we have Kamala Harris. For some reason, has been gone the last 3 years and decided to finally pop back up because apparently they need her to win this election, which I highly doubt they're going to win. Donald Trump is winning in a lot of states, and that now takes me to that point. I do believe this was a strategic video on Donald Trump. Um, again, and obviously this was a strategic video on Kamala Harris, which wasn't a very good one at that. Kamala Harris obviously wants to paint a picture of, hey, Donald Trump will ban, he will stop this 100% if he gets a chance. And Joe Biden, and Donald Trump come in and saying it will stay as, it will continue to be a state's issue, and it will not be a federal issue. Um, that's just how I believe it. Honestly, it should stay that way. But again, we are going to see a lot more of this woman popping up here within these next couple of months as we lead up to the election.